Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for October 6, 2017. We're your hosts, Peaceburger2448 and Rapid Epsilon.
You could have added incompetent right there in front of that, but oh,
To be fair, on my engineering economy test that I got back today, for one of the problems, I decided to reference my 10% interest table I had instead of my 12% interest table for no fucking reason.
that was real good.
Mm-hmm. Like, literally everything about the problem is written to be the 12% interest table, except I grabbed the values for the 10% one, which I have no idea why I did. I chalked it up to I do really stupid things for no reason. Like, one of these days, I'm waiting for me to write down 2 plus 2 equals 4, except instead of 4, it's going to be like 12. And for me to just act like, oh, yeah, it's 2 plus 2 equals 4, and for everyone else to just look at me like I'm crazy. Well, we've got stuff. Surprisingly enough, we have good news for Ultra Sun and Moon for the most part. And a bunch of other stuff. Somehow it's mostly Nintendo, but I think that just keeps happening because most of the time Nintendo has the most interesting stuff to talk about. Or at least most of the news.
Well, it's because Nintendo actually has games. I mean, did I say that out loud?
Well, I mean, like, how much does Sony or Microsoft go around talking about their stuff?
How much does Sony or Microsoft actually have to go around talking about?
True. Mostly the third parties with that stuff.
I mean, let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them have really said anything out there that just kind of screams solely for them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Nintendo's like, yeah, we've got stuff for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got third parties. Yeah, we've got indies. Here, have fun.
At least Sony will have niche dumb RPGs.
Yeah, but what will Microsoft have?
Halo?
No, I said, what will Microsoft have? That's right. That whole Xbox Anywhere kind of is screwing them more than helping them, and they haven't figured that out.
Yeah. It's good for us, but terrible for them.
Like, wow, guys. Sony at least isn't stupid enough to do something dumb like that.
But I say that because have you looked at Gerard's Twitter today? Okay, apparently someone sent him the first Hyperdimension Neptunia game. which made me go, "Oh yeah, that franchise." Cuz it is a franchise. Like they have like 14, no, not 14. I think like 12 games and an anime and a manga. Like that is a franchise at that point.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't know what that is, essentially it is a dumb meta RPG that the main characters are representative of, I believe it's a PlayStation, a Wii, an Xbox, and a canceled Sega console. And they fight a console war to prove their dominance. This franchise is super dumb and it's super meta. It's dumb enough that makes me want to play one game of it just to see how far it goes. Because you want to know or you want to guess the titles for the main line, what they're called?
What?
All right, we have Hyperdimension Neptunia, Hyperdimension Neptunia Mark II, Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory, and then Mega Dimension Neptunia 7. That's the core 4 games. Somehow we've skipped from 3 to 7. Most likely because of Final Fantasy 7 reference. Also, this franchise also has a Muso game of its own. And a crossover game with another franchise that does this exact same concept, except it's only Sega consoles, I think. Yes, the Dreamcast, the Saturn, and the Mega Drive.
Well then.
I still can't believe that these franchises exist. Anyway, tell me what you've been playing the last couple of weeks.
Pretty much look at my Twitter/Twitch stuff. That kind of pretty much sums it up. Like, about the only things that I've played that isn't in that spot is I picked up Super Mario Run because it's on sale right now.
Yay.
I figured, why not? It's not as bad as it could be. It's not great, but it's not as bad. And sure, it's on sale enough for me to be like, okay, I've got that money sitting that I've earned from doing Google surveys. I'll spend it, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna buy it, mostly because I've got plenty of bubble games to keep my attention for the half minute they need to.
It's one of those that it made it down to the point where really it doesn't cost me anything. So I'm like, sure, whatever.
Well,
But that, and I did a little Sonic Mania playing last night to kind of finish up the file that I'm going to use for speedruns.
Well, Super Mario 64 Online was certainly an experience.
Yes, it was.
I can't believe.
I need to sit down and figure out how to route that better. Because I feel like us just going for it is not going to get us anywhere.
Probably not.
That plus I suck at Bowser.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I sometimes pull off dumb things with Bowser. I don't know.
There's got to be something I'm missing. Like, there has to be. I am fully aware of that. I'm just apparently not willing to take the time to figure that out.
I don't remember. Was this on the thing we did Friday, or was it when I wasn't streaming it? Did I throw Bowser like back behind me on the last hit and hit it on the first try?
I don't know. I can't remember. Either way, I know both times that it was streamed, I couldn't do it. The time I streamed on my own practicing stuff, I thought I figured out the method.
I want to say it's timing, but I don't think I even know the timing. I just luck into the timing sometimes.
Some of it's timing, some of it's luck. One of those I suck at, the other one I have none. So, kind of causes problems.
Well, the only other thing I've really been playing since I've been busy with college stuff is Odin Sphere. I'm on the last full story, and once that's done, I get to move into the epilogue portion of the game. And if I pick the correct character to go against the correct boss, as I've read, I get the true ending. If I don't, I get the bad ending.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if there's anything in the game that gives me a hint to where it's supposed to go outside of, okay, do you remember all 6 plot lines from this game that you've played through? Is it 6? It might be 5. Hang on. Do. No, 5. All 5 storylines, and remember who has what main villain, I guess, to go up against, essentially.
Hmm.
Bear in mind, each character is 7 chapters, which have 5 acts in them. Bear in mind, you only play one of those acts. Okay, you play 2 of those acts because one is the going through the 2D battlefield stuff, and the other act is a boss battle. The rest of the acts are cutscenes. But you better been paying attention. That's my assumption. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna look up a guide and be like, all right, who do I pick for who? Okay. Because I'd like to get the true ending on the first shot. And then like maybe reload the save and then do the bad ending. Because I assume I have to do both. Because there's like 6 stars on the save file. No, it's 7 stars. And I assume I have to get the 6 and 7 star for both endings. So I have to get both endings. But maybe once I'm done with Odin Sphere, I can finally go back to Persona 5 and then beat that completely. And then I guess move on to Uncharted 4 and start playing that, since that's the only game on my shelf at the moment I haven't touched. Because I've at least played an hour of 15. Yeah, I never hit that
So,
far.
so you haven't even gotten through the tutorials, what I'm hearing.
I've gotten to the tutorial, I think. Wait.
It's a Final Fantasy
Yeah.
game. If you've only played it
No.
an hour, then no, you haven't made it through the tutorial.
No, because Noctis and crew are not on the run yet. The tutorial ends when they're on the run.
Like I said, it's a Final Fantasy game. If you've only played for an hour, you have not gotten through the tutorial.
Yeah. Granted, I've had a Final Fantasy fan, I think it's like Super Butter Buns, talk about how Final Fantasy 15 is not worth $60. It's more like worth $30 because it's not really that complete of a game. And from everything I've seen of the game, yeah, I believe that. And for how much DLC they're cramming into this game of story content, and how many just story shit they keep shoving into this game, I'm like, it's probably a good thing I'm not playing 15 because I wouldn't be getting a complete experience to start with.
Is it at least free DLC?
Yes.
Okay.
Except for the episode insert party member here stuff. That I believe is paid DLC.
But if that's just character focused, then that makes it not really seem as important too.
Yeah.
Because the game kind of feels like it's more focused around the group as opposed to the person.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to find a list of all the DLC nonsense this game's had so far.
I mean, granted, as long as they're all free DLC, I see the problem. Do not get me wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it as a big problem. Like, it is a problem. They should not have released a game that was not ready to be released.
Yeah.
But at least it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah. Episode Gladio and Prompto are $5 a piece. and they're included in the season pass, along with episode Ignis, holiday pack, and a booster pack, and then the multiplayer expansion. Which, by the way, this is getting multiplayer. But the Assassin's Creed crossover material is free, and it's stupid from what I've seen. There's a bunch of weapons that are like 50 cents. Yeah, there's a bunch of other DLC that's like 50 cents. And it's just all cosmetic stuff from the looks of it. But the holiday pack is free. Except if you want the holiday pack plus, you have to get the season pass. So it's just a confusing mess, which is all DLC is at some point, essentially.
Yeah, but how long has the game been out?
A year plus now.
Oh, well, yeah, it's getting to that point. For some reason, I didn't think it had been quite a year yet.
It might not have been yet. No, not yet. It'll be a year like in the next month.
Oh.
We passed the original release date before it got that last minute delay.
Yeah, that feels like too much DLC.
Yep. And it's gonna get more because they're gonna just squeeze Final Fantasy 15 dry. Because
they're not gonna do that though.
I was about to say, the only reason they're doing that is because the 7 remake's not done yet. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is not done yet. So what the fuck else is Square gonna do?
Actually make the games that they've told people they're gonna make. Like, that would be the thing.
But who wants a Final Fantasy Tactics game? That or letting Nintendo do anything with any of the Legend of the Seven Stars characters. Because I believe Square owns the rights to them. I think. Because you know how Geno cameos in the original Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga?
Yeah.
He's not in the new version.
Huh.
Which is odd because Geno got a costume in Smash Brothers not that long ago. So my assumption.
You know, now that makes me wonder something though. What if it was Square's idea to put Cloud in Smash, and Nintendo was like, "Okay, if you're gonna do that, we want to get a Geno costume."
Maybe? I don't. It's entirely possible. Because I feel like the reason we don't see Geno or like anyone else from the Legend of the Seven Stars is because Square technically owns them. Because bear in mind, Legend of the Seven Stars was like co-created by Nintendo and Square.
Yeah.
And depending on how the contract or whatever was done to have that game happen, like Nintendo obviously owns their characters, like everything they created. But everything else that came out of that game that wasn't Nintendo created first is owned by Square.
It could be too that it's just in so bad of a limbo that no one really knows who's got the proper rights for it.
That is entirely possible considering copyright.
I mean, I could kind of see that more.
Because I might be wrong on saying this, but has anything besides like Geno and maybe Mallow or like just one-off cameos of anything from Legend of the Seven Stars has ever appeared again in a Mario game prominently?
No.
Because I feel like, yeah, it's no, which is kind of further backs up the thing of I think Square owns that, and they have to go through Square, and that's more trouble than it's worth. But yeah, that's really all I've been playing. I am entered into like 3 different ways to possibly win a copy of .hack GU Last Recode. Yeah, Deshinta on Dailymotion, who does Tokusatsu reviews, along with some other oddball reviews for video games. Like, he took a look at the Mass Effect trilogy after Mass Effect 3 came out. And yeah, he rightly rips apart the Mass Effect 3 ending, and also goes further on to point out that the Mass Effect trilogy has some problems, story-wise and character-wise, long before 3 happened.
No, it's all three's fault though.
Well, 3's ending is absolute shit, and it's garbage. But
And probably added a lot of problems to it, but yeah.
oh god, yeah. But it's not like the trilogy was perfect before then. And also pointed out something I didn't notice about the Mass Effect 3 writing, where it kept assuming you worked for Cerberus, even from characters who knew you didn't work for Cerberus. And 2, like, that's not how that went down. And a lot of 3 kind of ignores your choices in 2, no matter what you chose. So it points out that there's a lot of problems with 3, besides the ending. But yeah, he's giving away 3 copies of .hack GU Recode, because .hack GU is his favorite game series of all time. He's giving away 1 to his Twitter followers, 1 to his YouTube subscribers, and 1 to his Patreon supporters, which includes me, because I give him $5 a month, which gives me like week early access to his videos. Which meant I got to sit down and watch his entire review of Double like a week early per video. Yeah, I'm entered into it. I entered in all 3. I don't know if I'm gonna get one, but if I do, I might stream a little bit of it. I definitely will play it, because watching his entire retrospective on the .hack franchise has got me interested in the series, and I'm willing to give it a chance. But you ready to talk articles?
If we have to.
Well, let's kick off with the good news about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. You may, in fact, have a reason to possibly want to at least watch a video that covers the entire story of this game.
Possibly. Maybe.
If you don't want to buy the game, maybe.
Possibly.
A brand new, what I'm essentially going to call a story trailer, is the best description for it. I don't think there's another description for it, or another subtitle for it. It's essentially a story trailer, because it covers some kind of story elements of the game. We still don't have a firm grasp on what the story is about and how it differentiates, but we at least have some idea of how it's differentiating. But before we get to the trailer, we have a new Ultra Beast, UB Adhesive, aka UB Sticky in Japan, because dumb names be dumb. But it's a poison type. I think it has a exclusive poison move, I believe. No, my bad. UB Burst has a new move, where essentially he has a kind of almost self-destruct X move, where he essentially blows up his head and takes damage and kills you in the process.
Okay.
Yep. It has a meme name to it, but I don't remember what it was. Probably because I don't want to think about it.
Also, I don't quite get where they figure that looks like adhesive.
Well, it's a poison type.
Eh.
Also, when I read this description down here, it sounds more like a psychic type. Eh. But yeah, just to cover some of the highlights of the trailer before we take a look at it and see some of the stuff in motion, we're going to be traveling through Ultra Wormholes to visit the locations of some of these Ultra Beasts to battle them, I assume. We're also going to be visiting the Ultra Megaopolis, which Necrozma stole the light of, and is the home of the Ultra Recon Squad, which is this bunch of jobbers. You'll only see 2 of them in Sun and 2 of them in Moon. Unfortunately, if you want to see Curly Mustache Man, you have to play Moon. He's only in Moon. Which is a shame, because he's like the best character out of these 4. I also believe this Recon Squad are all using Ultra Beasts for some reason. I don't know. Look, I still have a lot of questions about this, but at least this is progress. Major progress.
I mean, I get why it has to be on the new hardware.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of feel like, you know, even if it would be a crappy port it to the Switch too. That way we kind of have at least something to start with.
Yeah. I think.
I
Yeah.
mean, especially with them already saying, yeah, they'd be willing to support it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why not?
I think it's from their talk with Game Informer when they came up to their studio. They were worried about putting a Pokemon game on Switch, just dropping one on there because it's Pokemon on a console for the first time, and they want to make a good first impression. So
But
that might.
that's kind of what I'm saying, though, too. It's like, okay, if we knew it was a port, it would go over better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they came out and kind of did what they probably should have more elaborated on with Breath of the Wild. Because, to be fair, Breath of the Wild was developed solely for the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch version is a port. It's not rebuilt for the Switch. No, it is a Wii U port. So if they came out and said something like that, I could guarantee it to you people would be at least more relaxed on it.
Mm-hmm.
And to say, oh, the Switch only has high quality stuff, no, it don't. Look at some of the indie titles.
Yeah, was it Shovel Knight had its biggest launch on the Switch? And bear in mind, that is a 3-year-old game that just got its biggest launch financially on a
Uh,
brand new console?
Blaster Master Zero, similar kind of art style.
Mm-hmm.
The blocky, old school 2D esque, because there are some 2.5D elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
Game, and it's like, it went over good. I could see this working, just being as a port.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could be like, okay, we ported this to kind of gauge who's going to buy a Pokemon game on the Switch. When we start developing solely for the Switch, you can be expecting better.
Mm-hmm.
That way, then that gives everyone something for now, but also lets them know, hey, if we buy this, they're going to do something with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, shall we see all of this stuff in motion?
I guess so.
All right. Take a look at the new trailer here in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, this is the English version of the Japanese trailer. Japanese trailer has some different stuff in there. I've seen both.
Oh, that's right.
What?
I went to switch sources and I forgot to turn the other one off, so the top of the video was a little cropped.
Mm. I mean, some of this stuff looks really cool, but I wish we had more context to all this. Like, just what the hell is going on? It just, I don't know. I want context.
You
That's all
know
I
what
want.
I just thought about?
What?
I bet they're post-game stuff too. The Ultra Recon Squad.
Yeah.
And I say that because I did get to that in-game content,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, yeah, I could completely see this being that spot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, unfortunately, this trailer doesn't show off a lot of the kind of story stuff that got shown off in the Japanese trailer. Japanese trailer more showed off, hey, that moment when, spoilers, Nebi evolves into Suglilo or Lunala, depending on your version of the game. At least my assumption, considering Lily's in her second costume at that point, or second outfit. Necrozma shows up, they battle, and Necrozma takes him over. Her over. Whichever one you want to go with. I don't think Nebi has a gender.
It over.
Yes, it. It over. And apparently that the whichever one is being housed in Mega Ultraopolis for some reason. But the problem is most of what I saw, Lily's in her second costume for the new material, which she doesn't change into that until the last island, I think.
Yeah,
If I remember the order
I
right.
think you're right.
Yeah. And I know Lily is in her second costume in the poster or key art, whichever one you want to call it.
Well,
But
Nebi doesn't turn into the legendary until you're on the last island, anyhow.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't even go to its second
So,
stage until like right around there.
so it obviously has to at least be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see them just kind of shoehorning the story right there.
Mm-hmm. And for those wondering, yes, Lily is in her first costume for this game. There's a screenshot of her talking to the professor's wife, and you see her in her first costume with Nebi. I believe it's a new scene, but it does confirm that Lily is in her first costume for a while. So I feel like a lot of the game is going to be similar pacing wise. I think a lot of the divergences and a lot of this new content is late game. Because I feel like all of this stuff is replacing Aether Foundation in like the pacing of the story. Because Aether Foundation is like non-existent in all of the material I've seen. So I think they've been replaced by all the Ultra Beast stuff. But the game will still kind of pace out the same way. It's just my thought. Bit pessimistic, mind you, but
Actually, you know what? I don't think they can do that. That kind of leaves a good bit of the main drive for parts of the story if they just cut that out completely. What
yeah.
they might do though is shuffle some of those events around in a way to where once they actually go through the first ultra wormhole, they kind of start understanding. And maybe that's the point where the divergence kind of breaks off.
Yeah. I mean, we have shots of Ultra Beast confronting Kahunas directly, which we never really got in the game outside of like the first couple hours in the game. One time, and that's it. They didn't really show up since then. What else? It's kind of really it for the major stuff, I would think. Outside of little detail stuff that I can recall from the Japanese trailer, but I don't know. I'm still skeptic. I'm more excited for this, but I'm still skeptic. Because I would like more context of what the hell the plot is right now, because we have no context for this plot. We only have a bunch of cool stuff happening, and that's kind of it. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Fortunately, we have to deliver some bad news. You know the Wii Shop channel that's still open and you can still buy stuff on?
That's fixing to not be open and still buy stuff on.
Yep. On January 30th of next year. Wait, no. Wait, is that a typo? Hang on.
Is that a typo?
No, that is not a typo. January 30th of 2 years from now, the Wii Shop will close permanently. And you can only add Wii points to your account until March 26th of next year.
Hold on here. If you can't add points past March 26th, doesn't that kind of mean that it's getting a soft shutdown then?
Yes.
Because you can't buy anything else then?
Well, you can still get all of the free material, which includes the Wii System Transfer Tool, which once the shop's gone, you might lose access to that tool, so you might want to get the transfer in now.
Except for, if I'm not mistaken, the Wii U has that built in?
It has to be on both consoles, I believe. Yeah, you need the app on both consoles. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Or, you could just be like me and have a Wii U that utilizes for both.
True.
Then it don't really matter.
Yep. I had to transfer all my stuff from my Wii to my Wii U, so. But yeah, I thought this was closing down sooner, not 2 years from now. Unfortunately, a lot of the virtual console stuff that exists on the Wii Shop is going to go bye-bye from this. Somebody did a list. Want to say it's one of the two Nintendo news networks I follow that cover.
I'm wondering if they're leaving it up as long as they are, because they're essentially going to merge that towards the Switch. Because, we're supposed to have at least the SNES and NES stuff by the beginning of next year, because that's part of the Nintendo network. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe we're just going to have a hard boot for the virtual console on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Here he is. Polygon has a list. More than 200 classic games are going to go. They're going to be shut down with it, essentially. And
shut down, or just not downloadable?
Not downloadable, essentially.
Because there's a big difference there.
Yeah, you won't be able to purchase some of these games, and I believe Smash Brothers is in it. The original
Yeah.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not seeing it.
It is on the Wii Shop. Because I've thought about getting it.
Yeah, like Super Smash Brothers.
Star Fox 64 is on there, ain't it?
Yes, but I believe you can get it on the Wii U shop. Because I don't see it in the list. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
I don't think I've ever ran across it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm thinking about it. Because I think that was another one that I was thinking about picking up on the Wii Shop at some point.
Pokemon Puzzle League, which saddens me because that's a damn good game.
Emulation.
I know I have a ROM of it.
With NetPlay.
Yep. I don't think we should play that because I might be way too rusty.
I don't think I was going to recommend that because I'm probably way too rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm probably rusty so much to the point that even though you're rusty, you could still beat me without trying.
Probably. Final Fantasies 1, 2, and 3, which I believe that's the American 1, 2, and 3. So that's like 1, 5, and 6.
1, 4, and 6, I believe it is.
Okay, 1, 4, and 6. I don't know. I don't remember the dumb numbering for Final Fantasies.
I know it's 4 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I know 5's not one of them.
Okay. Couple of Earthworm Jim games. Golden Axe games. Gradius games. An Indiana Jones game. Like, there's a lot of stuff here we are losing when the Wii Shop goes bye-bye. So I would encourage anyone that, hey, if there's something on the Wii Shop you want, get it now. Like, go get points, get it now. Because now is the best time to get it. Because you are probably not going to get it for a while, to say the least. Especially some of the not Nintendo console stuff that's on there. Because there's, what is it, like Mega Drive stuff on there? Like, there's Sega console stuff that has no relation to Nintendo that's on the Wii Shop. So I would super suggest you pick up that stuff. Because that stuff may never come back in an official capacity.
I don't know. Sega's been doing pretty decent about trying to port stuff to PC.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to always say those ports are good, but, I mean, they're trying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, isn't Jaguar on there? There's a couple of Atari consoles on there as well. And those ain't going to happen. Like, there are oddball consoles that have games on the Virtual Console on the Wii that you could pick up. But yeah, any other thoughts?
No.
Well, Rockstar decided to drop a trailer for a little thing called Red Dead Redemption 2 these past couple weeks. So, yes, Red Dead Redemption 2 officially has like an official trailer. Unfortunately, it's like most Rockstar trailers where there's like no gameplay. Or at least no perceivable gameplay. It's all cinematic looks. Even of the gameplay portions, I assume.
I assume we're taking a look at it.
Yeah, because it's like there's nothing else to really talk about. Article last because
Literally.
there's nothing here.
There's nothing in the article.
Yeah. I played Red Dead Redemption 1 to completion. I enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to this. I don't know. Have you touched Red Dead Redemption at all?
No.
It's a good game. Too bad it's like one of those Rockstar games that most people probably aren't going to talk about. Or at least I don't think they talked about back then, and it kind of faded and kind of became kind of a cult. So like, I don't know. I kind of want to say L.A. Noire is more recognizable than Red Dead Redemption of a Rockstar game.
Which is kind of bad.
Yeah. Because bear in mind, Rockstar actually made this one. They didn't make L.A. Noire. And hell, like, this is the second or third game of the franchise, even. Nope, it's second because there was Red Dead Revolver, then Redemption, and now Redemption 2, which, from the looks of it, is apparently a prequel.
So then,
Essentially, I believe this is about the gang that Marston was a part of before he went, fuck this, I'm gonna go straight and, like, not be an asshole. So we may or may not see Marston in this game. But you ready?
Yep.
All right, take a look at the trailer here in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, we don't get the best look at the gameplay, but, by God, this game looks pretty. It might be touched up a good bit, because I don't trust trailers like that. Because, everyone else does it. By the way, the character you play as, grade A asshole. So, yeah, you are not a good person in this game. Like, super not good person. I think Morgan beats the shit out of almost every single person he interacts with in this trailer. But yeah, it's coming spring next year, and it looks pretty good. So for all those who might be tired of Grand Theft Auto 5 and all of the continued updates it's getting, because it's still getting updates, by the way. Still, to this day, updates for Grand Theft Auto 5. Mostly Grand Theft Auto Online. But any thoughts?
No, because I'm kind of with you. I don't really trust trailers like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you ready to talk about movie rights?
I saw this and I thought, you gotta be kidding me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the blue burr,
Burr.
blue blur might be on his way to the silver screen from Paramount, and I believe in a live action movie.
I guess they'll have to roll out the blue carpet for this movie then.
Yeah, according to a report by a Hollywood Reporter, let's see. Producer Neil H. Moritz and director Tim Miller are going to be responsible for this.
Okay. Now, looking at both of these people and what they've been associated with, I kind of want to see what they're going to do with it and what Sega's going to allow them to do with it.
Yeah, because they got some good material. Not kid material, mind you. None of this is kid material. But it's material that's good.
That's why I'm like, and what Sega's going to allow them to do. Oh.
We're looking at a 2019 release according to IMDb, and Yeah, CGI Sonic with oh my god, of course it's that one.
Which one?
Elise kissing Sonic from 06. Honestly, I was fully expecting that Sonic fan film that is CG Sonic with live action people. Because that's a thing, by the way. Bad, mind you. But it's a thing that exists.
Oh, wow.
What?
Okay, now that looks kind of cool. The poster for the movie that IMDb has.
Oh.
You follow that link?
1 second. I dig it.
That actually looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now that makes me worry.
Also, there's a problem with that poster.
Says 18.
That's it. Yeah, that's just 2018. We're supposed to be getting this 2019.
Uh-huh.
That may not be an official poster.
That's why I said now that's making me worry.
Yeah.
Because when you get something cool looking like that, yeah. Yeah. That's either A, fan created, or B, they spent way too much time getting someone to make the poster and not enough time on making the movie.
Yep. Yet another video game movie we have to.
Maybe they'll let them get away with like some of the stuff that Sonic Boom, the TV show, did.
Oh, all of those jokes that rip apart its own goddamn franchise?
Because then it'll be well worth it. Like, I really hope that what they do is they take, you know, the ideas they had from Sonic Boom and are like, okay, how can we improve off of that? Because apparently people liked that. And pretty much from what I've heard, yeah, that's the common theme there. Everyone that's seen the show, yeah, that's probably the best Sonic we've gotten since
Sad AM.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that. I was just gonna be like since before he talked. You know, like in the games.
Yeah. It's like Sonic Sad AM was good enough to have a comic series that lasted until like 4 months ago. That is how long that comic series lasted. That was based off Sad AM, and I believe was a sequel to it. Bear in mind, I think some people like some of the later stuff in Sonic X, but I know I didn't like the first 2 episodes of Sonic X especially because of that stupid, dumb F1 racer police car bullshit. I don't know what it was that made me so angry and upset about that stupid idea, but I was really hammering that stupid idea, if I remember that TGSR episode correctly.
Yeah, you were.
Okay.
I can't remember what started that though.
I don't know. I need to go back and listen to that and go, why was I so angry about this?
I do know on another Sonic related note, I have to agree with Ty Tuesday. Sonic Forces is gonna be good. And if it's not, it's gonna be good for the wrong reasons.
Okay. I'm kind of scared for all of you who are hopping into that because I'm just like, oh, if this is going to be bad, you're all going to be sad about this. And all I can do is give you an internet hug and just go, you at least have one good Sonic game.
Like, I completely agree with him. It's either going to be a good game or it's going to be a good game that is a train wreck. I'm really, really hoping this is not another 06. But on the other hand, 06 is probably one of the best speedrunning games there is, so sure, let's have another 06.
And bear in mind, it's not the worst Sonic game. Like,
No.
oh my god.
No.
Ty going through both.
Unleashed.
Well, there's Unleashed, there's Secret Rings.
Okay. The storybook ones I kind of ignore
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like even Sega didn't expect them to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw him doing that, I'm like, oh, you poor soul.
Yeah, and then to hear that like Unleashed, it's like, oh no, the day stages are kind of bad, and the controls are kind of bad, and oh wait, this has hub worlds that are garbage. What the fuck? No one said anything about this, or all this bullshit metal collecting you have to do to fucking progress. What?
You know what I feel like the problem is? And Sega's tried to say that they'll do an Adventure 3 when they feel like they can add to the series. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what I feel like the problem here is? They keep trying to do Adventure 3 and then when it fails they're like, quick, slap another name on it, slap another name on it.
It's like Sonic 06 is Adventure 3. Oh wait, no, it's not, because it's terrible. It's just Sonic.
Well, Unleashed was first.
Oh, well, Unleashed, but it was bad.
It's like, oh god, this sucks. Change name, change name, change name.
Because we had to put in the Werehog for some. Is it just me, or is all the really bad Sonic games the ones that try to do something super different for no reason and do it bad?
Oh, let's see here. Unleashed, Secret Rings, Black Knight, boom. Yeah.
It's like we try to do something radically different with Sonic, but we don't do that radically different thing right. That's the problem. That's why a lot of the good Sonic games are just good Sonic games, because they don't try to do anything super radical.
Thinking about it, if they had spent a little more time on 06, that probably could have been an Adventure 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they had sat down and polished that, that could have actually been an Adventure 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really kind of follows that formula. And I know, yeah, there really isn't a set formula for the adventure games, but there kind of is. It had the different storylines. It had the various locales. It had a reason why you were going through the different stories. Might not have been a good one, but there was a reason. All in all, 06 could have been Adventure 3 if they had fixed problems.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it had Sonic being mistaken for another hedgehog.
Well, now that was just for 2.
No, it does in 3. And one cutscene.
No, I mean in Adventure 2 is the only one that did that beforehand.
Yeah. But it follows that established thing from Adventure 2, at least. Because it does it with the third hedgehog.
Again.
Yep. Because everyone loves Silver, right?
Silver, yes. The game Silver came from, no.
Really? Because I thought everyone hated Silver. Even if he wasn't involved in 06. Or even when he's not involved in anything related to 06.
Not completely hate. Just not like as much as Shadow.
or Blaze dragged down because he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be my partner. And it's like, Blaze is a better character than you. And she's not even from this game. And the problem is, I think most people think Blaze is from 06. Which she's not. She's from Sonic Advance, I think. One of the GBA titles. Like, she's from there. But most people know her from 06.
I can't remember right offhand.
Because the basic description for Blaze's character in that game is she's Sonic from another dimension. Because she has her own set of chaos, own set of Chaos Emeralds. She has her own baddies. She has her own everything essentially, and she's even faster than Sonic. Like, baseline faster than Sonic. But,
Sonic Rush.
okay, Sonic Rush. Is that a GBA one? I want to say it's a GBA one.
Nope, it's the DS one.
Okay. Yeah, that's where she's from. And where you go, oh, she's essentially has her own like side of the universe that she does everything Sonic does, essentially. Which is kind of cool.
It's actually a parallel universe, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. I see the problem with 06 here. We tried to smash two universes together.
And time travel, mind you.
Is it bad that looking up one character, it's like, oh, I immediately see the problem with 06? Why couldn't the devs do that?
Because I don't know. I don't even know why Blaze is in the game to start with. Like, finding out more about Blaze, I'm just like, why is she in this game? Like, you just as easily could have done another one-off character that doesn't matter after this game with Silver, and it wouldn't matter. Literally.
Or, you know, we could have brought back any of the other one-off characters that were in the same universe as Sonic.
So what you're saying is it should have been Silver and Big. The silence, it's telling.
I want to say no, but you know what? Why not?
I mean, it gives Silver something to work with personality wise.
Just don't give him fishing mechanics.
But that's why
Never
everyone
give him
loves.
fishing mechanics.
Isn't that why everyone
Don't
loves?
give him fishing mechanics.
Look, we had to sell the fishing rod. That is the only reason Big is.
It wasn't
has
even
fishing
used for that
mechanics.
game. It wasn't even used for that game. It would be different if you could use it for that game. Heck, it could probably control better than what the controls were for the fishing in Adventure.
Oh, know what? Know what? Could have given Silver cream and cheese. There you go. Perfect. Perfect match there.
That's just like more annoyance value than Tails and Amy combined, though. I mean, that's not really anything punishing to the player.
But it's punishing in Silver, which is what we want in this situation.
No, I think Big would be better.
True. Silver has to go on fetch quests to rescue Froggy because Big is tired of going after him.
No, see, because Froggy only ran away because of Chaos. So, I mean, we'd have to get another reason to cause Froggy to run away and for Silver to go chase him down.
Froggy is the vessel for Mephistopheles.
That'll work. I mean, he seems to be vessels for stuff, so that'll work.
Yeah. I do hope someone's taking notes to be like, all right, let's see if we can rewrite Sonic 06's storyline to include all this.
Sonic 06 fan game, go. Except for it's not a fan game, you're trying to punish the player as much as possible.
Yep. It's like giving Unleashed controls just to hammer it in just a little harder.
No, there you go. There you go. That's a better idea. Silver is also a werehog.
Oh, God. Well, it would explain all the stretchy arm nonsense.
And every one of Silver's level, he has to be in werehog form.
Oh, Jesus. Poor guy.
it, except for any kind of like boss fights. Then he can be in regular form.
Did you
That
see
way,
the final
boss
boss?
fights are the highlight.
By the way, did you see the final boss for Sonic Unleashed?
Yes. It isn't bad
Okay.
that I agree with Ty that I would have really enjoyed like Super Werehog.
Yeah, that would have been better than uh, Gaia Temple robot that's garbage and piloted by shithead and the worst supersonic thing I've ever seen. That is literally the worst supersonic boss fight I've ever seen.
But aren't they all?
This is worse than the others.
Okay, but it's more trolly. I'll give you that because they
Yeah.
don't give you rings, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a crap ton of stuff to get hit on.
Yep.
But if you think about it, pretty much all supersonic fights boil down to you smash your face into the enemy.
Well, you're invincible, so what else are you gonna do?
I mean, there's not really much thought to it. Perfect chaos. You smash your face through him. Um, let's see here. Okay, right there you point already. Um,
Mm-hmm. Adventure 2 with whatever the fuck its name was.
I can't
The
remember what
perfect
its
life
name was.
form.
Yeah, you smash your face into it.
No, you smash your face into it with your buddy Shadow, who also smashes his face into it.
Well, I mean, you guys take turns until the end, and then yeah.
Yeah. But it's double smash your face into it, which is one step up. Because at least it's variety in the character you're smashing the face of into.
I mean, it's one of those that's kind of the recurring theme there. The
Mm-hmm.
issue more boils down to the same thing that has happened to me in generations. And, no rings exist. I don't understand that.
Yeah, because
You got
I
rings
had
perfectly.
yeah.
The one time it decided to be generous to me, it gave me rings. Like it's
Yeah.
supposed to. It's like,
That was the weird
what?
that was the weird thing about what I was saying. It's like, yeah, like Time Eater is terrible, and I'm like, hang on. I'm sorry.
I
Like,
feel like he's had the same thing that happened to him that I've had happen to me.
yeah, because I was just like, no, the boss before him is worse. That boss is garbage. Like, that's
Uh,
the worst boss fight in the game, for me at least.
the the Egg Dragoon boss is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
modern Sonic Egg Dragoon. Yeah, that one.
I
That's
kind of like
terrible.
that one. I kind of like that one actually. Because it's challenging but not impossible.
Yeah, but it goes on way too long.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, when Time Eater doesn't play nice, Time Eater sucks.
Yeah.
And seeing Unleashed, it's like, oh, okay. So there is another boss that's just as crappy. Good to know.
Granted, a
I
lot of the Sonic Generation fights and boss fights kind of have problems.
honestly, I kind of feel like Dragoon does last too long.
Mm-hmm.
Um, think ain't it called Eggwalker, the classic Sonic boss?
I think so.
I think that's right. I can't swear to that. That one seems like it takes a little too long.
Yeah, because it has kind of timing issues with getting it to hit the bomb and then getting onto the arm in order to hit.
But personally, if I had Generations Perfect Chaos versus Adventure Perfect Chaos, I'd take Generations all day long.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Generations is the last part is like there's platforming issues there.
But you just got to remember you don't have to try to go fast.
Yeah.
Like that's the big thing. Because I died there too the first couple of times, and it's like because of the change, and then it's like, oh wait, I don't have to rush this. I just have to do it.
Yeah.
And that kind of when you realize that, it's like, oh, okay, that's not as bad. That one honestly is the best one out of them.
Shadow's problem is the fact that you can prolong that fight way longer than it needs to be without realizing you're doing something wrong.
Yep.
It's
no clear direction whatsoever.
Yeah, it's easy to outrun your ability to do your chaos control. Like it's possible to go too fast in that boss for the game to keep up with you, and that's a problem.
Pretty much every time I do that boss, I have to relearn what I'm doing because what you want to be doing and what you need to be doing are two different things. And every time that fight, for some stupid reason, I get in Adventure 2 mode. That don't work. Why that don't work is beyond me because that's supposed to kind of be that fight.
Yep.
Silver's fight though kind of puts you in the mindset of the end of Crisis City with the he can be unpredictable at times and it's like that's a bad boss fight.
But honestly, he's the easiest of all of them.
Oh, he is once you figure out the tells. Until you figure out said tells, nope. He's unpredictable and a little bit of a pain.
Well, essentially this conversation is proving Ty's point of boss fights in Sonic are kind of bad a lot of times.
Yeah.
Good boss fights are the exception, not the rule.
But either way, Unleashed's final boss fight, oh god.
Yeah. I'm starting to go, maybe it's a good thing I was a Nintendo kid, not a Sega kid. Because then I would have had to grow up on all this.
2D Sonic is better.
I do.
I can't believe it because it's one of those that I was like, how can you think something harder is better? But it's because it actually does what you want it to do.
Because it works. It just works. It functionally works. That's the problem with a lot of modern Sonic games is that some functional part of it just doesn't work. Because it's like, okay, Sonic 06, most of it doesn't work.
Yeah. Sonic 06, it's a shorter list of what does work.
Secret Rings and Black Knight, motion controls don't work half the time.
Really, that's kind of what I feel like those two games suffer the most from. Because while they're not classic Sonic story formula, they kind of do a good job at what they're intended to be. So story-wise, it's like, oh, okay. Gameplay-wise, it's like wrong console for this.
And Secret Rings has probably the worst final boss in Sonic history.
Yeah.
Sonic Unleashed, all of the combat doesn't work. Just all of it.
Oh, it works when it wants to.
Yeah, see, the Werehog, in of itself, just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom doesn't work.
Okay. We can go a step further with Unleashed. The sidestepping that they get right in the next game doesn't work.
Sidestepping, not putting was it the light speed dash?
Yeah,
The light speed
the light
dash.
speed dash is on a different button.
It's on the same button as the boost button. Yeah, ponder that one on how that was supposed to work. It's not on the light speed dash. It's not on the jump button. It's on the boost button.
I'm sitting here thinking about Generations and about, because I use controller even though it's a PC game. And it's like, yeah, if they'd done it there, that would have been crappy.
It would have been hell.
Like, I just wouldn't have used it.
Yeah, it would have been literal hell. Because it's like, okay, you have to get the timing right, or else, whee! just gone are you, and you're possibly off into a pit. Because most of the time, a light speed dash is meant to get you across a gap.
That, and did it feel to you like Unleashed and 06 possibly had the same QA team?
Yes.
Because a lot of the stuff that was broken Unleashed was still broken 06.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, huh. And by had the same QA team, makes me wonder, did they have a QA team?
I don't think they did. I don't think 06 had a QA team. Or if it did, the developers did not listen to them at all.
Or didn't have time to listen to them. One of the two.
Yeah. Which I did love how John broke a hat in time 20 minutes into playing the game.
Yeah.
Granted, he didn't really break it. Because all he had to do was just go around and walk up one of those tight ropes, and he would have been in the same location.
Really?
Yes. There's a tightrope right behind that clock tower. He passed it twice.
So the developers intended on him to break it.
Pretty much. Like, it would have been easy fixable if you fall off the platform, it just reset. It just resets its position, but...
So that tells me the devs planned for John. Did they plan for Bagel?
No. No one can plan for Bagel. Which, by the way, Hat in Time looks fantastic from what I've seen, and oh my god, that writing is on point way too often.
I do know I kind of popped in after Spike had done switch back to Cuphead for a little bit, and he was saying that A Hat in Time was crashing his computer.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Like after a couple of loading screens, it was just killing the game on its own.
That's weird because John was running the PC version of it, and I don't think he had a single crash.
That makes me wonder because some people run different stuff inside the computer in terms of processor and graphics cards. I wonder if the game is just not being compatible with certain hardware.
That is entirely possible because games have had that before.
Like, that almost makes it sound as if it was either built around an AMD setup or an Intel setup. And running on the opposite is causing problems.
Yeah.
Even though, in theory, it shouldn't.
Yeah. I kind of want a Hat in Time, but there's too many games I want to play. I tried to win a copy today in a giveaway. Didn't happen.
I'm in the same boat as you.
At least it's only $30. Anyway, we should probably talk about another article.
Should we?
It's Ruby related.
I guess we should then.
Yeah. We have our first look at Ruby's gameplay. Ruby Rose Ruby for the Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle game. Which, give me 1 second. I need to pull up something. Because we got to look at the character select screen, because I believe this game's at New York Comic Con. And it's kind of interesting how it's laid out. Bear in mind, it might change. But if I can get an image of it. Of course, I can't pull up just directly an image of it. But it had 3 rows, 1 for BlazBlue, 1 for Ruby, 1 for Persona 4 Arena, and then 1 etc. one.
Huh.
Let me see. I'm going to hope this YouTube video has start straight from a battle. I know I saw it on Twitter. Okay, that went to a different arena. Come on. Back up. Back up further. Back up even further. The cuts? Really? Oh my god. But yeah, I don't remember how many slots for each row it had, but it had maybe 8 slots for Ruby. But it was the same slots for every row, so I don't know if it would fill out with all Ruby characters. Or we would get all 8 slots for Ruby.
Well,
But
I could see that actually happening, though.
mm-hmm. Because we've already gotten Yosuke for Persona 4 Arena. The Persona news person I follow on Twitter talks about how Akira from Persona 5 is most likely going to show up. Which I wouldn't be surprised. And if the main Ruby team does not show up in this game, I will honestly be surprised. Because it feels like they're guaranteed. Like, we'll get Weiss, Yang, and Blake.
True.
It's a question of will
Who
we
else?
will we get Team Juniper? Like, someone else besides Team Juniper, maybe? But yeah, you want to take a look at the trailer? Or this little gameplay that comes from Torchwick's voice actor, Gary G. Haddock.
The article doesn't have a video.
It's in the tweet. That's in the article? Is the tweet not in the article? Because I have it up and it's in there.
Has a picture link.
That should be a video link.
Okay.
Did you got it working?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, I don't know what happened because I've had this up the entire time we were talking about Sonic and it's still there. So we good?
Yep.
All right, take a look at Ruby's gameplay here in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, there's only one problem, and you're probably going to notice it real quick. You notice the slight problem with Ruby? She might talk a little too much for a character in a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like it might have overdid it a little bit, but I'm gonna be okay. Unfortunately, we only get Ruby for like half the trailer. Then it switches over to all the BlazBlue characters. Yeah, let's watch over the Blaze Blue character so we can stop here. But what do you think?
I think part of the issue might have been because, they kind of focused Ruby versus Ruby kind of deal.
Yes. Just a cavalcade of Ruby.
Yeah. And it's like, might not have been the best way to showcase.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'm fine with it too.
Yeah, it does fit Ruby's character to just keep talking and not shut up.
Well, and if you think about it, look at Grim Eclipse.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, they didn't shy away from it there either.
No. I am still buying this game day one because I don't care about the time loop nonsense that is Blaze Blue. Don't care for it. And I don't even care who else they put in here in the miscellaneous tab that may or may not be related to anything else I might like. But you know what? It's got Persona, it's got Ruby, it's a fighting game. I'm in. This is the right kind of dumb that's perfect for me. Anything else before we move on?
No.
All right. Quick thing about Fire Emblem Warriors, especially since it comes out in the next, I think it comes out 20th, I believe. Yep, the 20th. We got details on the DLC, and it's a bit vague, and a bit well, let's see here. We have a season pass that is $20. Include all 3 DLCs, and you get a bride costume for Lucina because there's a bride class in the new Fire Emblem games because. But the individual DLC packs focus on one of the 3 games that's featured in the game already. So we have Fates, Shadow Dragon, and Awakening. And we have no description of whether we're getting characters or stuff. I'm noticing a problem with this game. You know how Hyrule Warriors, well, yes, it was focused on 3 games, it still acknowledged other games with its DLC.
Yep.
Warriors isn't doing that. Like, at all. It's only focusing on Fates, Awakening, and Shadow Dragon, and nothing else. And I believe it's confirmed that, like, Ike and Roy are not coming through DLC. Which is kind of insane, because why would you not put the other 2 Smash characters from Fire Emblem, or like the Fire Emblem Smash characters, in Fire Emblem Warriors? Like, why? Why do we have to wait a sequel for Roy and Ike? When Lynn and Celica, who have no connections to any of the 3 games here, both get to be in here. Like, what the fuck? I'm starting to possibly not be excited for Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't know. What do you think as the outside person from the Fire Emblem?
I don't know. Like, so far, this one's kind of been sailing under radar for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm not sure.
I do know, because the game is out in Japan right now, Anna is a character. So we do, in fact, get Anna as a playable character. I don't know if anyone else is playable that's unlockable that we didn't get confirmation from before. But I do know Anna is an unlockable character. I just don't know how. Also, some of her moves involve her and all of her sisters or clones or whatever you want to call the copies of Anna that exist. I believe they're all sisters, but it's the Nurse Joy, Officer Ginny situation of you all look like the exact same person. But yeah, I hope this game's good, but it might not be. And that worries me. Well, ready to talk about releases?
I guess so.
All right. We're going to kick things off on the 8th with Iron Wings for Xbox One. And on the 9th, apparently coming from Gen Corp, Mighty Action RPG for the PC. This is legitimately a game coming out on PC. I have no idea if it has anything to say. It probably doesn't. Oh, it super doesn't. I just find it funny that, yeah, we're getting a Mighty Action something. On the 10th, we have a buttload of stuff. Danger Zone for Xbox One, Deadbeat Heroes for Xbox One, Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 4, Who Needs You for Xbox One, PlayStation PC, Middle-earth Shadow of War for Xbox One PC or PlayStation 4 and PC, which has been tanked hard by microtransaction bullshit. Oh god, have they ripped that game apart with microtransaction bullshit. Yeah, way to like de-hype your game so hard. Raid World War II for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Cyber Dimension Neptunia 4 got us online for PlayStation 4. Speaking of Neptunia, Raiden 5. Oh my god. Director's Cut Limited Edition for PlayStation 4. Summon Night 6 Lost Borders First Edition for PlayStation 4 and Vita. The King of Fighters 14? Is that 14?
Yes.
I believe it. Yeah, okay, good. King of Fighters 14 Special Edition, Special Anniversary Edition for PlayStation 4. Toho Kobuto 5 Burst Battle for PlayStation 4, Vita, and Switch. 88 Heroes, 98 Heroes Edition for Switch. Soldum Drop Connect Erase for Switch. Tiny Barbarian DX for Switch. And Bitcoin Collector Spinner's Attack for PC. On the 11th, we have Rocket League Fast and Furious for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, and Shiny for Xbox One. On the 12th, we have Super Beat Sports for the Switch, The Flame and the Flood for the Switch, Wolverblade for the Switch, and Neptunian Donut for PC.
Okay.
On the 13th, we have Decay the Mayor for Xbox One. Friday the 13th, the game coming out on an actual Friday the 13th for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I believe this is the not beta release because the game has been out in beta for a while, which is why you'll see plenty of people who have played the game. And it's all right, by the way. The Evil Within 2. I'm still surprised that game got a sequel because I didn't think people liked it for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC. Bad Apple Wars for Vita, and 7 Days with Death for PC. If this is not a dating sim, I will be supremely disappointed. Well, don't know.
Are you disappointed?
Not coming up in a quick Google search. So, I don't know. On the 17th, we have Dungeon 3 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Alex for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Rogue Trooper Redux for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. South Park The Fractured But Whole for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Jackbox Party Pack 4 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Torkel Physics Modification Edition for Xbox One. WWE 2K18 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Gran Turismo Sport Limited Edition for PlayStation 4. No Heroes Allowed VR for PlayStation 4, Eternia Odyssey 5, Beyond the Myths for 3DS, Don't Knock Twice, I don't know why I said kick, for Switch, and NBA 2K18 for the Switch.
Also, it's not a dating sim. It looks like it's one of those narrative type anime-esque style games.
A visual novel?
Yeah.
Damn it! I was hoping you could date the Grim Reaper. Like, who wouldn't want a dating sim where you date the Grim Reaper?
Oh dear God.
Especially if it's to get out of dying.
Oh God.
See, there's a game concept for you, folks. On the 19th, we've got Party Golf for the Switch and Spelunker Party for the Switch. And on the 20th, we have Abyss, the Race of Eden. Yep, Eden for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Real Farm for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Let's Sing 2018 for PlayStation 4. Fire Emblem Warriors for Switch and 3DS. And Siberia for the Switch. Which will take us to Quick Draws. And oh my god, I am excited for Hazy Generations Final. You want to know why?
Why?
Not only is Takaru coming back as Ghost, but Kota's coming back as Gaim. And Gentaro's coming back. And Edgy and Ankh are coming back. And they are all teaming up with Build and X8 for this movie. I don't know why, but I'm in. Also, Gentaro's teacher, the one with the suspenders, and JK are also coming back for the movie because they've taken a picture with Gentaro on set. So it's possible we could get more supporting characters back for this. And if you followed me on Twitter, you might have saw me theorize about a certain shot in this trailer, but we'll talk about that after we take a look at the trailer. But you ready?
Yep.
Hopefully, if the trailer loads for me. Oh, nope, it good. It loaded. Good. All right, taking a look at the Heisei Generations final trailer in 3, 2, 1, go. I love how that shot had 0 special effects for it. Also, it's weird to see Takatora with a different hair color. I just love that quick shot of Edgy getting annoyed by Ankh. Like, yeah, they are back. Like, we haven't seen Edgy since Ultimatum. We haven't seen Gentaro since Ultimatum. Neither one of them have been back since then. And Kota hasn't been back since Full Throttle. Because he was reused voice clips in the first Generations film. But yeah, also a couple quick notes about this trailer. First off, let me get to... trying to get the time code for it, so you might be able to pull it up. It's about 25-second marker. when the 4 Legend Riders pull up to build an X-Aid, you want to know who's with them? Ryuga and Parad. So does this mean Parad is officially secondary rider for X-Aid? It
I
has.
think I think that was kind of brought upon by the end of the show.
Yeah, but still feels weird because it's like, all right, it's not Laser, it's not Brave, it's not Snipe. No, it's Parad. Gets official secondary rider status in the crossover film.
Well, I think it more boils down to it's not so much he's secondary rider, it's that he's co-primary rider. Because the way that they kind of are the same person in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that I think that might be where that kind of gets mixed up.
Mm-hmm. The second note is the one I talked about on Twitter, the minute 5 mark. Now, every other time we've had a shot like this where the riders are riding forward on their bikes, they're usually fairly packed together. There's not really any space between them. You can go and check every scene, I think, that this happens. It's all the same. Ultimatum does it. The original Showa era writers do this as well. There's never any gaps. Do you notice something very oddly suspicious about this shot? We seem to
Looks
have.
like there's at least a couple of gaps just within them.
Uh-huh. And let's see, out of the Heisei Phase 2 Neo Heisei riders, who are we missing?
Double and Wizard.
Yep, and they both 5th bikes. Their bikes in there, and this is a pretty wide shot, and there's this big gap over on the left, and even if that was
Yeah.
the case, go behind them. I think we're missing the Trider on here. Oh my god, if we get a shot of the whole Heisei Phase 2 crew up to build, riding together into God knows what plot. Because bear in mind, this is supposed to be celebrating the entirety of the Heisei era. So we're supposed to, I'd assume, at least get an appearance, even if it's just in just the suit. Even though Shotaro and Philip have been did a magazine interview and a magazine shoot to promote the double manga. So they were together and promoting something related to Double recently within the last 3 weeks. And they have a manga out right now about the characters that they play. So why would you not be showing up in a movie that's celebrating your era? Unless they are, it's just not as big as the other 4. Plus, Haruto was in Generations 1. So was Tamari. And I
Yeah.
don't see any reason why they wouldn't show back up, at least in the cameo. Which gets into the whole, where's everyone from Decade Back? And I'm like, I don't know. We know there's one shot of Brave fighting Hyper Kabuto. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited. And I know I'm probably looking into this shot too much. It probably is just shot this way. It's just weird. Like there isn't anything hidden or cut. But if there is, I'm sure as hell gonna say I called it. But what do you think?
Huh. You know what I just got to thinking about?
What?
Okay. I have a funny feeling that this might be another Decade redemption shot. Because you said we had Brave and Hyper Kabuto.
Yes.
Okay. So that at least partially confirms we'll see to some extent pre-decade,
Mm-hmm.
meaning 9 riders.
Mm-hmm.
There are 9 riders post-decade.
Yep.
What if they try to do this as a redemption shot for like all the decade material here?
He deserves it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Masahiro Inoue is confirmed to be showing up in this movie at some point because he is always down to come back as Decade. The man loves to come back down as Decade, but he might not be able to because he might be filming Garo at the moment. Because yes, Decade is in Garo because that him and Gokai Silver and Sengoku, mind you. I didn't realize that one of the characters from the 3rd season of Garo was Sengoku from Gaim. Because I swear I didn't think it was him because he looks so different. But no, it's Sengoku. It's the same actor. But yeah, also, when he's on Garo, he constantly made jokes about Decade. I think the director made the joke of like, he had him come up and sign this card. I don't know what it was about. He said he was just passing through. Because Masahiro Inoue loves Decade and loves to come back to play him. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows back up for this movie, even if it's only like maybe voice. But yeah, I'm excited for Heisei Generations Final. This is gonna make me watch the movie. Even if it's garbage, this at least gets me to watch. Also, just in case anyone's wondering, that laser, that is the dead laser body. That is not actual laser. I believe it's confirmed in the jump shot or the big action fireworks shot. Because you get the best look at the laser bike there. And it is the laser bike with no eyes. So it is not laser. It's corpse laser.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of understandable at this point because of the way they wound up playing everything off.
Yeah.
Not to mention, okay, he was able to do that when Laser was quote unquote dead.
Yeah.
Who's to say he doesn't just jack his driver at random and is like, hey, I'm using the bike?
Well, can't he just summon the bike? Because I think
No,
he
he
even
had
just.
to have the driver and the gas hat.
Okay. Because I'm about to say, Laser summoned the bike with just the gas hat in his fight
But,
against Genom. But.
but, I'm also going to say this. Uh, to be fair, we know there's an additional driver floating somewhere.
Yeah.
So it would make sense to see the bike and Laser both in the same scene.
Yeah, because Laser's in the movie. There's an earlier shot of him holding his weapon out of suit along with Braven Snipe, which I wonder what that fight's going to entail. Which makes me wonder if Sakamoto's directing this, because that is a Sakamoto thing to do. And he directed Heisei Generation, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's back for Final. Which means, oh god, if we get a scene like the transition from Wizard to Drive with their theme songs playing back to back and being like faded in and out into, oh my god, if you go across all 9 shows with that, it will literally become the best crossover movie just for that scene. Like, oh my god. Like, that scene is super good, and the blending of the theme songs works so well. It's really weird how well those songs transition to each other. Going up, mind you, it goes from Wizard to Gaim to Drive. It doesn't go to Ghost. It just goes through those 3, I believe. I believe once Ghost goes his special form for the movie, they do battle game from Kamen Rider Girls and Rider Chips. And I think that plays through the final form transfer, or through the form spam stuff. But yeah, I'm excited and happy. And tell me, what would be your quick draw?
Mine. Yes, I know I've got ad blocker. Shut up. I hate it when that happens.
Yep.
Kind of is just a little bit that I've yet to actually fully read, but it's talking about the drifting in Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to. Oh yeah, it's talking about like how depending on what kart and track you're on, the mini turbos can actually do different things in terms of your speed.
Hmm.
It kind of piqued my interest because I've been speedrunning Deluxe, so I'm always interested in trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And I put it that way because, yeah. Uh, but yeah, look, it looked to me just at glancing that it's a great breakdown on everything from it. Like I said, I've yet to kind of actually look over it, so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the short and long of it.
Yeah. I'm skimming through the spreadsheet, which doesn't apply to Deluxe. It only applies to Ryu version.
I do
Eh,
know some of that actually kind of shares certain things. Let me pull that up and see. I know some of it does share, so
Mm-hmm.
no, the chart they've got linked is the deluxe one. He's got a link over there to the Wii U one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just scroll down to the big bold red letters. All information past this point. Okay, it's past this point. Comes from the Wii U version. It does not necessarily apply to the Deluxe. Okay. So everything past the red text may not apply to Deluxe. But everything before there is fine. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting. Looks like your turbos all cap out order before max
6.
there. No, looks like 5.5.
Hmm.
Because there's no difference between 5.5 and 5.75.
Yeah, the article noted 5.75 as the highest. .48 to 188 frames is your window for the highest possible mini turbos stat. Oh, geez, I cannot imagine because this is all frame. This all this information is frame counts and
Yeah.
ugh. I can't imagine how long it took to get this data. This is cool that someone's really digging into this and going, the boost may not work how we thought it did.
Well, and see what happens too is Deluxe adds the Ultra Mini Turbo to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to balance it, you have to adapt too. Because I have noticed while you can charge up to a super at the same pacing, it takes a good little bit longer to go ahead and charge into that Ultra, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because the way this is kind of breaking it all down, it looks like it should be about the same.
Yeah. It's kind of nice for him to slim this chart down, but just going, all right, these characters are the same, these characters are the same, these characters are the same, these characters are the same. Look, just assume I'm talking about these X1, like these 4 characters when I list this data. This is a nice way to slim all this down.
Yeah, because
Especially on
there
the
are a
card.
lot of them that are pretty much right on par with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not a difference in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know speedrun wise, a lot of people wind up using Wario or Morton,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because if you look at their specs there's really not that much of a difference.
Gotcha.
They're the bottom 2 on the characters.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, where is Morton? I kept looking up and it should have
Because
looked down.
Morton's in with Bowser.
Yeah. Yeah, they have like a quarter difference on weight.
Granted, I've been kind of focusing more with Waluigi, which has slightly different specs too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those that all kind of plays together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's figuring out what goes with what to make everything work better.
Yeah, I would imagine.
What I need to sit down and do is take this and figure out what the best combinations are.
Yeah, I would imagine like something like this is like amazing to have for a speedrunner because it's like, oh, I have hard numbers now to like better understand game mechanics. Because having information like this is supremely helpful for speedrunners because it gives a better understanding of the game. Like, to give an example, the Kingdom Hearts speedruns you see, especially for like 2, would not be anywhere near what they are right now if there wasn't an understanding of the revenge value system. Like, understanding exactly hard number wise how that system works would not produce the same speedruns that you see right now. So
Oh, I
having
can believe that.
Yeah. So having hard numbers that say, all right, a boost is essentially this value. A, like combinations of character, body, and wheels give this hard value, and that value is above this definitively. Like that is amazing to have because the game does not provide you any of this. It does not provide you hard numbers. It provides you bars that are ambiguous and exactly what their value is, essentially. And when for Kingdom Hearts, the revenge value is just a thing you don't see. Like I think you can mod a ROM of it to modify the health bar to act as a revenge value gauge. But other than that, all that revenge value stuff that's talked about for a Kingdom Hearts game, that's all done in someone's head. That's just understood.
One of those that you kind of have to understand hitting certain attacks has to add to a certain value, and by the end of it, where you need to be sitting to ensure you don't get screwed over.
Yep. Like all that revenge value stuff that is felt and just known because you have no visual indication for it. Which kind of sucks, but revenge value is just supposed to be one of those under the hood. You were never supposed to see this in action visually. You're just supposed to feel it because it's what makes boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 2 like engaging because the boss is, I wouldn't say dynamically because that feels too much for what the revenge value system does, but it is, the boss is reacting to how you're fighting. Like if you're playing passive, it reacts to you playing passive. If you're like dumping tons of damage on it, it's going to react to that damage. The bosses don't have set things that they do, unlike in Birth by Sleep, where a boss will do what it damn well pleases regardless of what attacks you do and regardless of what damage you do.
Mm.
Which is why boss fights feel better in Kingdom Hearts 2 because it feels like you're actually fighting it, whereas in like Birth by Sleep, it's more you're just going through the motions in order to do damage. And it's hard to really push the damage past where it's designed to go. In Kingdom Hearts 2, oh, you can push well beyond where you were supposed to like stop being able to damage the boss. Like your final Fire combos, yeah, that breaks those theoretical damage caps that the revenge value system is supposed to negate. Like, you're not supposed to be able to take 5 bars off this boss before he was supposed to break out and do a move on you. But Final Fire doesn't up revenge value at all for some reason.
Hmm.
At least the non-finishers of it, which is why for the data fights, you see them do a lot of 2 hits, a lot of what's called empty hits with Final Fire. They'll do 2 hits but don't do a finisher. It's what's called an empty hit or an empty combo, I think is what it's technically supposed to be called. But you don't do finishers. That's why a lot of KMH, like if you really sit down and watch fights in Kingdom Hearts 2, you don't see finishers a lot unless they actually finish your opponent. Because they'll knock enemies around, they'll put them out of position, they'll increase revenge value well past where you want the boss to be. It's like finishers are a bad thing to do unless you were actually finishing a fight. Which, bear in mind, in Kingdom Hearts 2, you have to hit a boss with a finisher or a magic attack in order to kill it. Otherwise, it will not die. That's by design. Like I'm trying to think of an example in a speedrun, but I don't think you'll ever see it. You might see it in my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, I might have happened with Xemnas. Like, if you see me hitting Xemnas or another boss, like their health bar is pretty much a sliver, but their health bar, they're not dying. It's because, again, by design, you have to kill them with a finisher or a magic attack. Anything like just the standard hits from a combo will not kill it, which is an odd thing, but it's something you don't really notice unless you're really paying attention. Because by the time you get a combo out and get that finisher out, the boss is dead. But anyway, yeah. That pretty much does it. At least I get to watch Bill tomorrow and maybe get to sit down and watch Once Upon a Time, which apparently is good. The season premiere was good. I know Inhumans was boring as shit. Because that premiered last week. Oh my god. That I have never watched a show that was so boring. I skipped through like the last like half hour of the show. The half hour of the 2-hour premiere. But anything else?
Huh?
All right. That'll do it for the show. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with whatever may come. Probably me bitching about Fire Emblem Warriors if it turns out bad. I could probably just go look into the Japanese footage of the game since it's out, but I'll just wait till the US release and see how it is. Oh, Battlefront beta's out. I think there's an open beta right now for it. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. But for Tommy, I'm Peace. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.